Elden Ring Nightreign is my newest addiction, and it's why it took me an additional month to upload the Dark Souls 3 video. I've made some shorts for the game, and if you pay close attention, you'll see that I'm usually playing Raider. He's easily my favorite Nightfarer to play, and that's because of how easy he is to play. Just grab big weapons and smash people. Smash! Bang! Give me the fucking loot. His retaliate ability is just another way he smashes people, and if you take enough damage to where you look like you just got out of the sauna, you can use the upgraded retaliate, which is an uppercut that staggers enemies, even bosses. That's cool and all when it lands. Because of how mobile enemies are in this game, your upgraded retaliate will most likely look like this. Why did he target Zack there, man? Of course he runs away when I'm using my shit. Raider's ultimate is also really funny because he literally just summons a big rock that somehow gives him and his teammates a damage boost.
That's just a stupid boulder!
It's not just a boulder! It's a rock! A rock! A rock! It's a big, beautiful, old rock. Oh, the pioneers used to ride these babies for miles.
It usually ends up getting in the way, but free iframes is free iframes. He really does live by the motto, I unga until I bunga. Unga bunga. Unga bunga. Unga bunga. Now for someone who is supposedly an expert with colossal weapons, great hammers, and great axes, his moveset fucking sucks. That's why most Raider players opt for power stancing weapons during their runs, which is where the biggest challenge comes for Raider players, finding the right weapons. You may think it's as easy as using the two biggest weapons you can find, but that's when you realize how poorly named the weapons in this game are. Why is this hammer a colossal weapon? Why is this weapon a great axe and not a colossal weapon? Why am I still maidenless? Why are so many colossal weapons called great axes? Even his starting weapon is called a great axe, and it's a colossal weapon. It's all very confusing, but if you are able to power stance, you can literally just jump attack your way to victory. It's got Scarlet Rock, come on, die. With all that in mind, here's how I play Raider. I use these relics. The first one gives me improved stance breaking when wielding two armaments, which is how I plan to be playing anyways. And since these big bonk weapons use a bunch of stamina, I've got an overall boost to my endurance and I get stamina back when landing successful attacks. The second relic gives me more poise by my big rock, along with more vigor, which increases HP, and more strength because more strong equals more damage. And of course, for my last relic, I use the most broken relic in the game. Defeating Everjail bosses gives a damage boost, and I start the game with a stone sword key. Alright, I'm gonna issue a little volume warning here because why are people not using this relic? You can literally buy it and get free damage buffs that last the entire run. Please use this relic. A typical Raider run for me starts off with a quick level or two before tackling a nearby Everjail. Then it's a matter of finding more stone sword keys to take down more Everjails and smashing anything else in the way, in hopes of getting good weapons to drop. My favorite weapon to look out for is definitely the Rotten Great Axe. It's a colossal weapon with a decent drop rate that inflicts Scarlet Rot, which most bosses can be afflicted with. Sounds like free damage to me. Once I've taken down several Everjails and have the weapons I need, I'm grabbing smithing stones if I need them and clearing out all of the high level areas. Upgrades I look out for on my runs are anything that can boost HP, physical attack, stamina, or stance breaking, since you'll be doing that a lot as Raider. And that's pretty much it. Like I said before, Raider's very easy to play and have tons of fun with. If you haven't played him yet, you're either lying or just allergic to having a good time. But that's gonna be it for this video. I plan on doing more of these with other characters, so let me know if there's anything else you'd like for me to cover when talking about them. I don't have an outro, so as Irish goodbyes go, Wylder, the cover art character who will take any and every opportunity to aura farm. John Nightreign is this game's iteration of the Honorable Knight. He does not care for gravity. He's not a team player because he is the team.
Damn it.
It's all it's all up to you.
All three of them fucking shot the fire at me.
Just run. One hit. 2 hits.
Let's go!
Yeah.
Wylder's passive allows him to cheat death once, and it resets once you reach a site of grace. There isn't much explaining to do here really. If you take a hit that should have killed you, it won't. He's also got a grappling hook, because of course John Nightreign has a grappling hook. It's good for traversal, getting out of the way, or closing the distance on an enemy. The Aura Farmer's preferred weapons are great swords, and you should use them because there's a relic perk that adds a follow-up attack with great swords for his grappling hook. It's cool, and it also gives your weapon fire damage for a short period of time, for free! Just keep in mind that if you're using greases, it'll replace that grease's current effect with fire. The best part about this character is that he's got good scalings for both strength and dex, so you can basically use any melee weapon you want, making him arguably the most versatile character in the whole game. His ultimate is an explosion which can be charged to do big damage and stagger enemies. What the fuck? And because Wylder's basically the main character, he gets another relic ability which enhances his ultimate to leave behind a fire AoE. These are the relics I use for John Nightreign. OP Everjail relic aside, I use relics with the perks that give bonuses for the grappling hook and the ultimate. I also have an additional grappling hook charge because it helps me move around the map quicker and is surprisingly effective at reviving teammates. The rest are just nice bonuses that you can never go wrong with for any run. A typical Wylder run for me consists of Everjails, aura farming, and taking whatever I can find, to be honest. Since he's so versatile, there's no preferred playstyle for Wylder. I can pick up practically any melee weapon and any upgrade that doesn't involve sorceries. Wylder's basically the Nightreign equivalent of ordering chicken strips at a restaurant. It's always a safe pick when you're not sure what you want, and it's really hard to mess up. He's the best character for new players to pick up and learn, as there's no wrong way to play him, besides maybe spellcasting. But who the fuck's doing that? You know what? I don't want to know because there's probably some sickos out there. Anyway, that's gonna wrap up my John Nightreign video. Who do you want to see next? Let me know down in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and as Irish goodbyes go, he's the biggest bird. The bird is the word. It's the one, the only, Guardian. Big Bird is the literal embodiment of
I got you, homie!
his preferred weapons are halberds. Birds. But that doesn't really matter because his main role is to tank damage with a great shield. He's got an S scaling in HP and an A scaling in stamina, which is important for keeping his guard up. His steel guard passive is activated when you press the dodge button while guarding. You basically turn into a wall. You take less stamina damage while blocking at the cost of movement speed. Think of it as a separate guarding stance. Honestly, whenever I play Guardian, it's a force of habit for me to constantly have my guard up, and because of this I often accidentally enter steel guard stance when trying to dodge an enemy's attack. All good though, because I'm doing my part. His character skill creates a gust of wind that deals damage while also knocking down smaller enemies and staggering some of the larger ones. A lesser known fact about his character skill is that it can also deflect incoming projectiles like those damn magic pots. From my testing, it only works on physical projectiles, not sure if it works on magic. Still, pretty cool. Then we got his ultimate, the star of many Guardian edits you see across various social media platforms. He flies in the air, then dives to the ground, dealing damage to anyone within a certain radius. You can also hold it, which creates an AoE that negates damage for you and your teammates inside of it, giving them some breathing room. It's also one of the best reviving ultimates in the entire game, if not the best reviving ultimate in the game.
Wake up.
I need a hero. I'm holding out for a hero till the end of the night.
Heroes never die.
Strong and he's gotta be fast and he's gotta be fresh from the fight. I need a hero. I'm holding out for a hero till the morning light. He's gotta be sure and he's gotta be soon and he's gotta be larger than light. Larger than light.
Blocking damage for a while and saving the team in style is why Guardian has the best skin in the game, because just like Solaire, he's a real homie. However, there is a slight problem with Guardian. His damage output sucks. Even if you have max stacks of the Evergel buff, he doesn't have great scalings for any damage related stats. This alone makes most people write Guardian off, which is quite sad because of how useful he can actually be. In order to maximize Guardian's usefulness, I use the following relics. Ignoring the best relic in the game, the other 2 relics are obtained from completing his Remembrance. Starting with slot 1, when you hold down your ultimate, the AoE not only negates damage, but will now also heal teammates. This can save them a flask, which could come in handy during a boss fight. This relic also has a perk to reflect a portion of damage received when your ability is activated. However, the game doesn't specify that they mean the passive ability. So when you're in Steel Guard mode, you basically become a walking Uno reverse card for damage. To top it all off, you get some extra vigor because more HP never hurts. The other Remembrance relic I have equipped is all about the character skill. Instead of a single gust of wind, it's a tornado that lasts a few seconds. This is a game changer because smaller adds will constantly be knocked back and bigger enemies will constantly be taking damage. And the bonus to the cooldown just means you can spam it even more. These relics will elevate your gameplay so you can truly embrace yourself as the biggest bird.
But I'm the biggest bird. 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 I'm the biggest bird.
Guardian is the tanky support player who may not contribute much in terms of damage, but more than makes up for it with his ability to keep his team alive. If you have one on your team, take that as an opportunity to let loose because you know that a decent Guardian's gonna have your back. But that's gonna be it for my Guardian video. I absolutely love playing this character and it's quite a shame to see him being slandered online. I hope that this video can shed some light on the character and encourage more players to try him out. Thank you so much for watching. I still don't have an outro, so as Irish goodbyes go, Richard Hammond once played Dark Souls 2 as the quick and nimble archer. He was ridiculed for his choice, clowned even. Truth be told, archer builds have never been that good in Soulsborne games. Until now. Ironeye is hands down the most broken character in Elden Ring Nightreign. You would know if you actually watched my very informative YouTube shorts. This video is for those of you who actually have an attention span longer than 60 seconds. You see, Ironeye can single-handedly make what's essentially a 30-minute boss run back a little more bearable. His passive gives himself and the entire team more item discovery from the very start of the run. So just by existing, everyone gets extra item discovery, which on its own is enough if you have competent teammates. However, a good Ironeye player can carry even the worst of teammates to a win. Let's start with his character skill. It's a dash attack with iframes which marks any enemy it comes in contact with. The mark is indicated by the big red X you will see on the enemy, and when they're marked, they take 10% more damage. If you damage them enough, you'll break the mark, which will cause a stagger, and sometimes even a stance break. It's literally free damage and free staggers with the push of a single button. Then we got the ultimate, a comically large bow that shoots a single shot and stuns anything and everything it comes in contact with. It's like Wylder's ult, big burst damage that stuns enemies. The biggest reason why Ironeye is so good is because in a game where bosses have sporadic movements, which can often result in melee characters spending most of their stamina chasing them, Ironeye doesn't have to deal with that. The only time he needs to get close is to mark the enemy, then they're free to go full Chell Sunned.
I can't let you get close.
He's also very easy to set up because you can use any bow to spam arrows from afar. The Ironeye playstyle is literally just mark enemy, spam arrows, profit. Not gonna lie, it gets kinda boring over time, but hey, it gets the job done. These are the relics I currently use on Ironeye. To nobody's surprise, I am once again using the best relic in the game. It's way too strong to pass up. FromSoft, please do something about this. Since I can use any bow to spam arrows, I'm also using Hailster's relic because why not get free affinities with a damage boost? It also allows me to collect multiple bows to constantly switch for that extra bonus damage. In my third slot, I have the relic you get from Ironeye's Remembrance. For those who don't know, bows deal thrusting damage and counterattacks are any attacks that take place right after an enemy does an attack. So spamming arrows at enemies swinging about at your teammates counts as thrusting counterattacks. Why not get a boost to those after using your art? Also, improved bow attack power for the guy that uses bows. A typical Ironeye run is very laid back because of how simple his playstyle is. Mark enemy, spam arrows, profit. Whether you're the only Ironeye on the team or you got a trio of Ironeye players, you are guaranteed to cruise through a run. But that's gonna be it for my Ironeye video. Thank you so much for watching. I've covered half of the playable characters currently in the game, and that's the half I play the most. Which means that these next 4 videos are going to be quite the learning experience for me since I'll have to play the characters I barely touch. We'll see what happens. Thanks again for watching. I still don't have an outro, so as Irish goodbyes go, Duchess is hiding something. She's one of 2 characters in Nightreign that you don't unlock immediately. In order to unlock her, you need to give her the old pocket watch, which you get from beating Gladius for the first time. Something that 20% of you haven't done yet. For whatever reason, once she sees that pocket watch, she says, "Fuck it, we ball," and is now playable. But what does she even do? Her passive, Magnificent Poise, allows her to dodge twice in rapid succession with more iframes. She's basically got good head movement. Her restage character skill reapplies 50% of all damage and status ailments inflicted on any enemy within the last 3 seconds of activating this skill. It's so satisfying doing big burst damage and then activating restage to do even more damage. But don't let that trick you into saving your restage. Use it whenever you have it while dealing damage, especially when you're using status effects, because the amount reapplied on restage could be just enough to get them to proc. Me personally, I like to proc Frost when playing as Duchess because it's one of the best status effects in the entire game, and I've got a relic setup which benefits from Frost that I'll show you later in the video. Her ultimate, Finale, makes you and your nearby teammates invisible. While doing your best John Cena impression, enemies won't aggro towards you, but you can still take damage. Only the initial animation of the ultimate has iframes. Honestly, this is more for emergencies like when you need to revive teammates or just get out of a sticky situation. Now that we're familiar with her abilities, let's figure out how she's meant to be played. The game says that her preferred choice of weapons is daggers, so naturally you would go looking for good daggers during her run, like the Reduvia for example. But I'm not convinced that all she's good for is swinging around a little knife like she's from London. After all, she's the aura farmer's sister. Taking a look at her stats, we can see that she's only got a B scaling in Dex, which is odd for someone that prefers daggers. She's got a B scaling in FP, which is actually pretty good. Here's the interesting part. She's got a B scaling in Faith and an A scaling in Intelligence, which is her best stat. Duchess is secretly a spellcaster.
You're a wizard, Harry.
I'm a what?
Yeah, you could do some crazy damage with Duchess as a spellcaster. If you got good RNG and you're okay with filling your inventory slots with Starlight Shards, this is the best way to play Duchess. I use these relics when playing Duchess, and for once I am not using any Everjail buffs. Yes, I'm missing out on a fat damage boost, but having the freedom to do more than just farm Everjails is overall a better playing experience in my opinion. You can tell that this is a new loadout because I'm using the relic from the enhanced Caligo fight. Whether it's on enemies or yourself, proccing Frost makes you invisible, which is a nice way to get some cover while also dealing damage to enemies. It also grants Frost damage to your starting weapon, so right away you can get to abusing the first perk. And because Duchess doesn't have great HP, it's nice to have some physical damage negation. My second relic is all about FP. More FP, FP for hitting enemies, and more FP for opening up them sorcerer towers, which you should be doing as Duchess if you want to cast spells and shit. Even if you don't end up getting good stabs for the caster build, you can use that FP to spam Ashes of War for your other weapons. My third relic boosts the damage of Reprisal from 50% of damage recently dealt to 60%, which is cool, and we got +2 buffs for her best stats, which is very nice. A typical Duchess run consists of me proccing Frost to go invisible and strike my enemies like a smooth criminal while praying that my RNG is good enough to get some good stabs with good spells on them. What spells do I look out for? I don't know, whatever puts the biggest damage number on the enemy. You've hit rock bottom if you're asking me for spell recommendations. Besides that, I look out for daggers with status effects, open up towers for more FP and free starlight shards, flex on enemies with my superb head movement, and contribute to big damage. Despite having a higher skill ceiling in my opinion, Duchess is a lot of fun. I see why my friend Shadowlit likes playing her so much, and I'm honestly ashamed that I didn't try her out sooner. But that's gonna be it for my Duchess video. Not sure when this is gonna come out because the Battlefield 6 open beta is going on at the time of recording this, so I'm gonna be on that for a bit. I got 3 more characters to get through and something tells me that I'm in for an experience that I might not enjoy. Nonetheless, I can't stop now. Thanks for watching. I've got an outro that's still a work in progress, so as Irish goodbyes go, Executor is every weeb's dream.
I have a katana collection. I've been learning Japanese on Rosetta Stone.
Since Nightreign has a strength build character, it only makes sense that they also got a dex build character. His preferred weapons are katanas, for which there are quite a few good options for in this game. Executor's passive, Tenacity, gives you both an attack power and stamina recovery boost for 20 seconds. The only problem is that this buff triggers after you get afflicted with any status ailment. This is not okay because you have to deliberately hurt yourself in order to get a temporary buff. But depending on your background, Executor's character skill can make or break this character for you. He's got a sword that he can do Sekiro parries with. Do enough parries, it'll glow and you could do a slash attack which does a decent amount of damage. If you played Sekiro, you'll absolutely love this character and you can stop watching the video from here. However, if you're like me who hasn't played Sekiro yet, it takes some getting used to, but can actually be quite useful for certain bosses, especially this asshole. And if you can't parry your enemies, you can unleash your anger, your inner beast, with his ultimate.
Somebody get me through this nightmare. I can't control myself. So what if you can see the darkest side of me? No one will ever change the setup of I have become. Help me believe it's not the real me. Somebody help me take the setup.
Yeah, it's literally the meme. You got your regular attacks, a roar, and your L2 is some holy slash attack that ends your ultimate after using it. It's fun and balanced for sure. It can come in clutch, but other clutch ultimates are literally just single button presses, so it's nothing special to be honest. As to how you should actually be playing this character, it depends on how good you are with parrying. If you're a Sekiro veteran, then by all means, just parry your way to a win. But that ain't me just yet, and in that case, I've still figured out a way to make good use of this character. If we take a look at his stats, we can see that the Dex character who prefers katanas actually has the stats to back it up. He's got an S scaling in both Dex and Arcane. Most katanas have passive bleed, so the extra Arcane means that he can proc bleed more frequently. But why stop at just one status ailment? An S scaling in Arcane means that you can proc multiple status ailments on enemies quickly, and have those do most of the work for you. That being said, here are my relic choices for Executor. Yes, I am once again using the Evergel relic, but hear me out. I don't want to put myself at a disadvantage by self-inflicting any status ailments, so I'm basically ignoring Executor's passive most of the time. To make up for that, I look for other means to get damage boosts without hurting myself because I'm not a masochist. I think it's about time I explained the math behind this Evergel buff. For those who don't know, you get a permanent 5% damage buff for every Evergel you clear. This buff stacks multiplicatively, so instead of adding 5% to your damage, it essentially multiplies your damage by 1.05 each time. Looking back at Executor's temporary buff that gives a 20% damage boost for 20 seconds at the cost of inflicting a status effect, all you would need to do is clear 4 Evergels to get essentially the same buff that is permanent. and doesn't force you to put yourself at a disadvantage each time. I'm only trying to justify the Evergel buff on Executor, but if you want a deep dive on how the buff actually works and just how broken it is, I highly recommend checking out this video on it. Back to my relics. I use base Kaligo's relic for frost procs and base Gnoster's relic for added poison damage to my starting weapon to proc poison and get a damage buff for poisoning enemies. Essentially what's going on here is that I'm abusing the S scaling in Arcane by rapidly proccing 3 status effects at all times when playing this character. Pair this with Duchess and you'll be doing ridiculous damage and status buildup with her reprisals. I ain't even gonna lie, I hardly parry with Executor because I'm too busy proccing status effects. Is that going to piss off the Sekiro purists? Sure it will. Do I give a fuck?
No.
I'll play Sekiro eventually, but for now, this is how I'm playing this character. A typical run consists of me bombarding enemies with status effects, looking for more weapons to proc more status effects, particularly Scarlet Rot, and unleashing the beast every once in a while. Obviously, katanas are the go-to for this character, but that S scaling index actually gives you a decent variety of weapons to look out for in a run. Executor is a character who, depending on how you choose to play him, can have a really high skill ceiling or a really low skill floor. Regardless of how you play him, he can prove to be a really useful addition to any team if you play him correctly. Is he one of my favorite characters to play? Sadly, no. I just think that despite his utility, there are other characters that bring more to the table for both solo and team runs. Yes, his dex and arcane scalings are amazing, but I can use Ironeye, who also has good dex and arcane scaling, and the added benefits of a good passive, a strong character skill, and a single button press ultimate, all while being a much easier character to use overall. Still, Executor is a lot of fun to play and you should definitely try him out. That's going to be it for my Executor video. I'll be honest, I'm starting to feel a little burnt out on Nightreign now that all of the Everdark bosses have dropped. I think once I do my Recluse and Revenant videos, I'm gonna take a break from the game for a bit. I'm sorry to those select few that actually enjoy my Nightreign videos. I hope that you can stick around to see what I got cooking next. Again, this whole YouTube thing is a hobby for me and I want to keep having fun doing it. The only way for me to do that is to actually play games I'm having fun on. But that's all I gotta say for now. Thank you so much for watching. My outro still doesn't exist yet, so as Irish goodbyes go, Recluse is the spellcaster character for Elden Ring Nightreign. Her kit is made specifically for this kind of playstyle, and I'm not talking about her magical calcium cannons. Recluse has an A scaling in FP along with S scalings in both Int and Faith, meaning that you can use either sorceries or incantations while playing this character. Her passive ability, Elemental Defense, allows her to absorb affinity residues from both allies and enemies who have been inflicted with affinity damage. However, it's important to note that it's not for all affinities. The affinities which she can absorb residue for are Magic, Holy, Lightning, and Fire. Regardless of which residue she absorbs, she regains FP, which allows her to cast more spells. This passive ability is the base for her character skill, Magic Cocktail. Once you absorb 3 residues, you can activate your character skill to cast a spell using the residues. There's a whole chart for which residues create which spells, and they're all pretty strong to be honest with you. My favorite is definitely the frost spell, since not only does it inflict frostbite on nearby enemies, but it also shields you in an ice cube for a few seconds. Some other good options are the sword slash, the fire breathing, the auto parry, and infinite FP. Obviously, whichever cocktail spell you get depends on the type of affinities you can absorb, so you have to pay attention to the affinities that your teammates are using along with the affinity damage that enemies can do. Her ultimate, Soul Blood Song, marks nearby enemies with a sigil, and damaging those marked enemies restores both HP and FP. It's basically a better version of Ironeye's character skill, and even that's debatable because you can't break the mark to cause staggers like you can with Ironeye. Still, it works well for Recluse as well as anyone spamming Ashes of War because of the HP and FP recovery, meaning that you can spam carefree for a short period of time. Overall, Recluse's kit is solid for her playstyle and is still very useful in a team setting. The only problem is that you need to have good RNG to have fun with this character. A Recluse run can either be a lot of fun or absolutely horrendous depending on whether or not you can get good staffs or seals with good spells on them. Unlike other characters, her starting weapon is trash and should be discarded as soon as you get a better staff or seal. It kind of sucks that your entire run depends on RNG, but it is what it is. These are the relics that I use for Recluse. The first one gives me more FP for holding 3 or more staves, as well as every time I open up a Sorcerer's Rise, which is what I should be doing as Recluse. I also get bonus magic attack power. This is literally the perfect relic for any spellcaster build. My second relic is from her Remembrance, and it activates Terra Magica whenever I collect residue. It's basically a blue sigil on the ground that gives me bonus damage when I stand on it. Also, more magic attack power is nice. My third relic is also from her Remembrance, and it affects her ultimate. I suffer blood loss whenever I activate the ultimate, but I get increased attack power and HP in return. Given that every time I hit an enemy marked by my ultimate I get HP back, it's actually a really good deal. Also bonus intelligence to further enhance my sorceries. A typical Recluse run is just hoping my RNG is good. Once I get a staff with good spells, that's it. Now that I've actually played a bit of the spellcaster, I know which spells are actually good. Stars of Ruin, probably one of the best spells in the game, if not the best spell. Any of the full moon spells are good because of how much damage they can do. The Shattered Crystal Blast is basically a shotgun which can do a ton of damage up close. And most of the gravity spells hit hard too. I know that Recluse has an S scaling in Faith and can use incantations just as well as sorceries, but in my opinion, incantations don't feel as powerful as sorceries in this game. I sure hope I'm wrong about that, since the last character I need to make a video on is best used with incantations. As someone who normally doesn't go for a spellcaster build, playing Recluse definitely felt like a breath of fresh air. I'm not saying I enjoyed playing as her, but I am saying that it was a nice change of pace for once. Whether you're a part of the Shadow Wizard Money Gang or have never done a spellcaster build before, Recluse has everything you need to make it work and make it fun. That's going to be it for my Recluse video. Thank you so much for watching. I thought I was going to have a much harder time with this character, to be honest, but my RNG was actually pretty decent for most of my runs. Last up on the list is Revenant. Hopefully I don't run into much trouble when playing as this character, so I can get that video out as soon as possible. I know they announced a hard mode recently for this game, but honestly I think after my Revenant video I'm still getting off Nightreign for a while. Thanks again for watching, and as Irish goodbyes go, Revenant is an awkward character in Elden Ring Nightreign. Her Remembrance is straight out of a horror movie. The fuck? Oh, that's fucked up. Nah. Oh shit. Nah, what the fuck? Her character description implies that she's a support character, the memes imply that she's a strength character, but her stats suggest that she's a spellcaster with a preference for incantations. She's also another character you don't unlock immediately, and let me tell you, unlocking this character is a pain in the ass. What? Oh, the big guy. The big guy at the back finally decided to attack when she was 1 HP. Okay.
These already color. Improve Crystallian, sorcery,
she just
physical
used the
attack.
fucking Gale attack twice point blank and it one-shot me. Okay. Bitch! Fuck you. Sit the fuck down. This character embodies every Elden Ring player on their first playthrough with her use of spirit summons. Starting off with her passive, Necromancy, enemies she recently killed will be summoned to fight alongside her. Keep in mind that she has to be the one who delivers the killing blow to an enemy in order for the spirit to be summoned. And if your teammates keep stealing all of the kills because of their insane DPS, her character skill includes 3 spirits she can summon one at a time. You got Helen, Frederick, and big boy Sebastian. Helen's small and agile, she's good for reviving teammates, and despite not having a lot of HP, she can still serve as a good distraction to give you and your teammates some breathing room. Frederick is bigger, hits harder, and can take a few hits before going down. I'd argue he's the most versatile of the 3. Then you got Sebastian, the big skeleton who may be stationary but hits hard enough to stagger certain enemies. He's perfect for less mobile targets, or if you want some protection while you spam incantations from afar. Revenant's ultimate, Immortal March, gives you, your allies, and your summons immortality for 15 seconds. Your summon will also do a special move once the ultimate is activated. Helen will do a series of quick thrusting attacks, Frederick will do a spin to win move, and Sebastian will shoot a laser. It's also the best revive in the game because unlike the biggest bird, you don't have to aim, just press the button. Given her kit, Revenant definitely does seem like a support character, but that doesn't mean she can't do damage. Her starting claw weapons are actually fists, and they do magic damage rather than holy, which is weird. Not that it really matters because you'll hardly be using those in a run. Her S scaling in Faith means that Faith scaling weapons and incantations are the way to go. Now in my Recluse video, I mentioned that incantations don't feel as strong as sorceries, and I still stand by that. Incantations vary in this game. Some of them look insane, but absolutely suck. Yeah, my thing didn't hit him. No, I promise you my fucking thing hit him. Did it again! No, my lightning is touching him, dude. Some of them look insane and are insane. This is madness. Nah, I mean the flame one, come on. Against the fucking bug. Set that bitch on fire.
Please let me hear you, man. Where is he? Oh, I guess I can't. That was fast.
Easy. But the best incantations are without a doubt some of the most basic looking spells. Yo, this low-key might be the best seal in the game. Frenzied Flame and Catch Flame? Gotcha, bitch.
Like,
He's stunned. Got him. Perfect timing. Let's go. That's right, motherfucker.
I hate this guy.
Yeah, throwing a literal fucking rock at someone is better than whatever this lightning shitstorm is. These are the relics I use for Revenant. The first relic I use is from her Remembrance. Activating her ultimate expends your HP to heal allies and also triggers a Ghost Flame Explosion. The Ghost Flame Explosion does a bit of damage, and saving your teammates a flask is always nice. Also, defeating enemies filling more of the art gauge means that you can use your art more frequently or have that free revive ready even faster. The second relic I use to give an additional cooldown bonus to my ultimate and Hoarfrost Stomp on my starter weapon gives me a reason to hold on to it longer and focus on finding more seals rather than melee weapons. The third relic gives additional buffs to her summons when she activates her ultimate. Using consumables shares the effect with teammates because she's still a support character. And starlight shards in your pocket at the beginning of a run can come in handy once you start racking up seals with good spells on them. A typical Revenant run for me involves collecting seals and guessing which spells are actually good, all while getting my summons together along with my teammates to gang up on enemies. If I find the right spell, I'm spamming that shit until the Night Lord goes down. And if I find the wrong spell, it'll only be a matter of time before I gotta do another 30-minute run back. The run! No.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I'm never using this fucking lightning spell again. Death lightning? What fucking death lightning, bro? I casted that right on top of his nuts and it did nothing, dude. What the fuck? Revenant is a character that I genuinely thought I wasn't gonna have any fun on. She's squishy and it's really hard to do anything on her own. Hence why she has her summons and is best used in a team environment. She's definitely among the weaker of Nightfarers in my opinion, but I only think that's because other Nightfarers are just stronger in comparison. Even looking at it from an incantation caster perspective, you're better off using Recluse because she also has an S scaling in Faith and can use her ability to regain FP rather than having to rely on Starlight Shards. If you find the right seals, or even if you just have some decent teammates to jump enemies with alongside your summons, you're bound to have fun while playing this character. But that's gonna be it for my Revenant video, and with that, I have covered all of the Nightfarers currently in Elden Ring Nightreign. Now, although I've mentioned that I've been a bit burnt out on Nightreign, it was still a lot of fun getting to learn all of the characters in the game, and I'm glad that I was able to find a playstyle for each of them that suited me. As for what's next, I don't know. The only thing that's for certain is that I'm definitely taking a break from Nightreign. I know that by the time this video is out, the Deep of Night mode will have dropped and it may or may not be a banger. Regardless of how good or bad it turns out to be, I'm just not interested in playing Nightreign for the time being. Maybe when the DLC drops I'll revisit the game, but for now I'm looking to do other things, and most of them are not even gaming related. I obviously still want to make videos because it's something I have a lot of fun doing, but I'm not sure what I'd make videos on. That being said, I'm not sure when I'll have another video out. But that's okay because there's plenty of other videos from very talented people that you can all watch in the meantime. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.